Viewers, the Southeast people claims that they are very smart, but when you look at some things happening in the Southeast, you'll be able to imagine if that smartness is there. Yes, in this report, we are going to look at some certain details about the Southeast, including the internally generated revenue of the Southeast and each different states in the Southeast. Also, we are going to have a look at some big investments that we are now moribund that can be revived in Southeast. Investments like the presidential hotels of Enugu, the Golden Guinea breweries of Umuahia, the premier breweries of Onitsha, and a whole lot of them. Yes, we are going to present a report concerning what is happening in the Southeast and what the Southeasterners has failed to do in that regards. Some things that they are supposed to do to help their, region and the people of this region. One would imagine that the Southeast Forum are supposed to address these issues, but we find out that nothing like that coming from them. Well, let's go. Right now, we are going into the details of our discussion concerning the Southeast and its moribund industries coupled with low earnings in terms of IGR. So it goes like this: 10 trillion naira legacy industries rot away amid low earning, unemployment, etc. How successive governors abandoned legacy establishments: Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states. That's what we are going to bring to you in this discussion. Well, just sit back, let's brainstorm and see what is going on in the Southeast and the way out of these situations. And not forgetting the fact that I'm going to drop to you the reference to this discussion somewhere within the video, so that we will all be in the same picture and in the same page of what we are discussing. So it goes like this: reckless abandonment of legacy companies of yesteryears may have worsened the general high unemployment rate and the dwindling revenue in the 5 southeastern states. The 5 states includes Abia, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Imo states. Not only have their lots among low revenue earning states nationwide, they also account for some of the highest ratio of unemployed youths per population. Subscribe to YangaLife channel, like this video, and please share this video. Let others see it and make their own contributions towards this discussion. Very, very important. Thank you. And yet, across the East are relics of prime establishments that date back to the 1960s. During the administration of Premier of the Old Eastern Region, Dr. Michael Obala, who laid a strong economic foundation for the region's prosperity. Then among the companies estimated to worth 10 trillion in valuations are the Golden Guinea breweries, Umuahia, ceramics industry, Umuahia, Abia hotels in Aba, the Hotel Presidential, Niger Steel, Niger Gas, the Premier Cashew Industry in Owe, Eastern Plastic Limited, all in Enugu State. Then Premier Breweries, Onitsha, Anambra State, several cocoa and farm settlements, among others. Then stakeholders reckon that the legacy companies are some of the missing link between the economic woes and potentials of the region, but for the nonchalant disposition of successive administrations. Not just nonchalant disposition, greed and this type of personal politics that the governors are playing, is not helping the region. Ever since we have all these establishments that are going to ameliorate the level of unemployment and help to boost the economic activities of the eastern states, and they are not talking about rehabilitating these establishments. We are not talking about establishing new ones, but the old ones that have been there to maintain it and make them functional is an issue. How are they going to think about the establishment of new ones? I'm not saying that there are no pockets of establishments of the new ones, but well, let's go into the discussion in full. You are going to understand what we are saying. Some of these establishments in other regions are still functional. Some, I did not say all, but let's go there. Findings shows that unemployment rate has been proportionate with the demographic growth in the region. Generally, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) reports shows that Nigeria's population rate rose to 216.7 million, with an unemployed rate of 4.2% in quarter two. That's the second quarter of 2023. The report, based on the new Nigerian Labour Force Survey (NLFS), stated that about 12.5 million people were unemployed. Well, more realistic surveys suggest that at least one or two in every three Nigeria are unemployed. The NBS report put the population of the Southeast region to be about 18% of the entire population of the country, with about 13 million people. A further breakdown in the population of the individual 5 states of the region over the percentage of their unemployed showed well over 6.5 million people in the region not employed. So then, beside the high rate of unemployment, reports on internally generated revenue (IGR) of the Southeast states also showed steady decline in fortunes. The region led from behind after the Northeast in 2022, and there are indications that the 2023 figures are not any different. The revenue profile of each 5 states combined is marginal in comparison with Lagos, the economic capital of the country. Specifically, while Lagos State realized 651.15 billion naira in earnings for 2022, the 5 Southeast states generated a paltry 114.5 billion naira. So this means that Lagos State alone generated times 5 of what the Southeastern region is generating, as in 2022 figures of IGR. So, but this figure is of the national figure of over 1.9 trillion. As this figure I mentioned earlier on Lagos and Southeast is of the national figure of over 1.9 trillion for the nation. Then a breakdown of the figures includes Imo with 19.3 billion naira, Enugu 28.76 billion, Abia 20.1 billion, Ebonyi 12.4 billion, and Anambra 33.9 billion naira. So now in a little breakdown of this figure concerning Southeast states IGR in that same 2022 indicates that Anambra IGR is almost double of what Imo State generates, and more than one half of what Enugu State generates. Then more than one half of what Abia State generates. Then almost times 3 of what Ebonyi State generates. Then for the first quarter of 2023, the total IGR for Southeast states was 27.97 billion, with states performance showcasing Abia with 5.04 billion, Enugu 2.32 billion, Ebonyi 4.42 billion, Imo 3.16 billion, and Anambra 13.03 billion. Yes, these figures have shown us an insight of what the IGR of each state in the Southeast looks like. This is last year, 2023 first quarter. From this figure, you will see that Anambra State generated more than times 2 of what Abia State is generating. Then more than times 6 of what Enugu State generated in that first quarter. Remember that this amount can vary greatly. Depends on the quarter of the year. It is not steady, but this is giving us insight of what it looks like. Then Ebonyi State, Anambra State generated more than times 3 of what Ebonyi State used to generate in that same quarter. Then more than times 4 of what Imo State generates. Well, I believe that you are making some conclusions based on the IGR of what Anambra State is generating, because some people will say that Anambra is not, getting enough IGR when it comes to internally generated revenue. You can now have the figures, the references are there where you can make your reference and the whole lot of them. So let's proceed and have our more detailed look into this discussion. But with a quick reminder, this is not federal allocation, this is internally generated revenue. So you can see that Anambra State in particular is making enough IGR, but it depends on the taxes, the way of taxes, the way government is taxing people. It also depends on that. It is a very huge factor when considering IGR, and not minding that it also indicates the economic activities that is going on in each state of the Southeast. No doubt about that. Well, this is also for some people that are claiming that the state has no money. As I'm referring to Anambra State, with what we are generating in the Anambra State, there is nothing like the state doesn't have money. And the state is supposed to have first-class infrastructures, pointing at road infrastructure in particular, water, electricity, and the rest of them. Yes, sir, if you have not subscribed to YangaLife channel, please click on the subscription button, notification bell, like this video, and don't forget to share this video. This topic is very, very important to the Southeasterners and even non-Southeasterners. So please share this video so that others will see it and drop their own comments. Thank you. An economist, Dr. Levi Oranose, he said the numbers are a contradiction when placed side by side with the industrial potentials of the region. Oranose noted that going by their current market value, moribund investment in those states are worth more than 10 trillions. This is what Dr. Levi Oranose is telling us concerning what we said initially about the value of the moribund companies that we mentioned. He also said that Golden Guinea, for instance, is a massive investment comparable to the Nigerian breweries that turned in 402 billion naira revenue in the third quarter of 2023. So this implies that since Golden Guinea is massive compared to Nigerian breweries that is netting in 402 billion naira, it means that if Golden Guinea had been functional, the company would have been giving the Southeast not less than 1 trillion naira on yearly basis. These investments, according to him, in their present locations are in the heart of the Southeast region. If you go to Hotel Presidential in Port Harcourt, it ranks among the best and remains highly competitive. The one in Enugu could have played such a role for the Southeast if it is working. These establishments in other states of the Federation are revenue earners, employment creators, and what have continued to impact development. These are the essence of investment and not what the Southeast region have presently. A financial expert, Professor Chukwuemeke Oba, told a similar line when he said that the impact of these abandoned investments, untapped potentials of economic growth and job creation could not be overemphasized. The university don said, imagine bustling landscape, trailing industries, active with jobs that sustain livelihood, the direct and indirect economic activities associated with this investment would have injected vitality into the Southeast, providing employment opportunities and boosting economic level. The ripple effect wouldn't stop there. It would extend to the establishment and the sustenance of a myriad of cottage industries and other businesses along the value chain, fostering a vibrant ecosystem of entrepreneurship. What this man is saying is that if these companies would have been in existence, it has some chain effects of other small cottage industries. Take for instance, if Golden Guinea is operational, aside employment and the revenue is generating the company directly himself, there are other distributors that will still generate money and the other retail people. It will affect also transportation and other ripple effects. That's what he's saying. If Hotel Presidential Enugu, such a big hotel, is functional with about 100 rooms, imagine people that will be coming to supply items and other things that will be needed in that hotel. It's going to have effect on other businesses that are around the Enugu axis. But sadly, the abandoned industries, warehouses, and dilapidated structures now stand as reminders of lost opportunities. The unemployment rate and the poverty level in the southeast persist, stubbornly resistant to improvement in the absence of these, operational industries. The dreams of countless individuals and families remain unfulfilled, limited by the absence of these once promising ventures, Oba said. Yes, this report is coming from the Guardian newspapers, and the findings by the Guardian newspaper indicated that the region could have easily solved her unemployment and revenue challenges and probably continue as a blossoming economy had successive governments that inherited these establishments after the Nigeria/Biafra war and when the old eastern region was carved out into two regions, southeast and the south-south region, continue to fund and maintain them. For instance, why the government of Rivers and Bayelsa State have continued to run and maintain the presidential hotels in Port Harcourt, taking it to an enviable international standard with employment for over 500 people. The one in Enugu that was built at the same time has become obsolete. You see it? You see what we are talking about. Yeah, you claim to be smart and you claim to, know it all, but you have not started from internal, from within. How can the Southeasterners have such big investments in their abode and nothing is being done to revive them? This is disheartening and economic waste. It's time to go back to the drawing board and start doing something that will uplift these companies and make Southeast an attractive and investment hub that it is supposed to be. This idea of selfish and wicked politics that is being played here and there should give way for general development in the states and in the region at large. The 4-floor, 100 rooms edifice located inside Enugu Urban can best be described as a carcass, as a block work remains the only identity it has acquired now. The glass windows, roofs, electronics, and other appliances have been removed or stolen. The place degenerated to the point of providing safety for criminals, elements, and other notorious activities in the state. Recently, Governor Peter Mba indicated interest in rehabilitating the hotel, but started by carving out portions of the premises for sale to private developers. When outraged greeted the exercise, the state government responded that it had given approval for Enugu State Housing Development Corporation to sell an undeveloped area of the hotel lying fallow for more than 5 decades without adding any value to the hotel. Well, from all indications, I thought these hotels should have belonged to the former states that houses that hotel. I mean, Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi. So, but, well, they know the best. I'm talking considering what is happening in River State, Port Harcourt, where Bayelsa and River States takes charge of their own presidential hotels. If you are yet to subscribe to YangaLife channel, please click on the subscription button and the notification bell. Like this video, share this video, and don't forget to drop your comment concerning this discussion that we are having, because this is a very, very important discussion and nobody is supposed to shy away from it. If you are from the southeast, even if you are not from the southeast, it's good to call a spade, because if you keep silent over it, one day it's going to reach your turn. So you must say something and let's forge ahead concerning what is happening, even though a lot has been said and it seems nothing is happening. But we will keep talking and talking, believing that one day they are going to look into some of these issues. So let's continue. At the time, Golden Guinea Breweries in Umuahia, Abia State, was fully operational. It had over 1 million people engaged directly and indirectly, including staff, drivers, artisans, and distributors. The brewery was founded in 1962 and first named Independence Brewery, was a notable indigenous competitor to foreign manufacturers in the country. It produces Golden Guinea beer, Eagle Stout, Bergdorf Beer, and Bergdorf Malt. Some of you that were born in that period and including 80s, we know some of these beers that we are talking about. Following a fire incident of 2003, the breweries closed for over 16 years and used the period to search for funds and investors. After 16 years, about 1.2 billion capital was injected through Pan Maritime Investment Company as a core investor. Although production and business activities resumed in 2019, the challenges posed by poor economy, foreign exchange increase, increased labor and other costs, competitions among competing brands affected it to the point that sales fell below expectations. It was gathered that their scenario affected payment of salaries and procurement for production inputs. Currently, skeletal activities go on in the company, but funds are needed to restore full productions. The modern ceramics Umuahia, Moseram, is another establishment by the government of the Eastern region under the premiership of Michael Okpara as part of the industrial revolutions of that era. The factory operated optimally until the outbreak of the Civil War in 1967, which affected its operations. The factory was reactivated in 1972 but collapsed completely in 1996 due to obsolete equipment, vandalization, and asset stripping by successive managements over time. The company was privatized in May 2003 by the Abia State government to UCL Resources and Investment Limited and becomes UCL Modern Ceramics Industries Limited. Under the present arrangement, UCL owns 80% of Modern Ceramics Limited, Abia State Government 5%, with the remaining 15% reserved for an undisclosed investors. Well, I wonder why such public investment is hidden. Why the investors in a public investment is not disclosed. Well, this is very wrong. The public are supposed to know the investors of this company. The premier breweries in Onitsha employed over 1,000 people directly when it was in operation. The industry has long been, privatized. Its board of directors, led by Chief Engineer Ato Eze, had made several efforts to get the place back to. Sometimes this year, the board had come with a statement that its reactivation efforts suffered setback due to policy issues and was therefore in the process of acquiring new technical partners. That is where the breweries has remained since then. Well, it's better they look for the partner with increased effort so that these things will come into existence once again and provide direct labor and solves some of this issue of unemployment while generating money for the company and the state in terms of tax. A public affairs analyst, Dominic Owaga, told The Guardian that lack of political will and commitment to the enthroned, lasting legacies that could benefit the people who are responsible for the inability of the establishment to work again. He added that multiple taxation over dependence on oil revenue, poor patronage of local products, new culture of buying and selling, importation of virtually everything has relegated industrialization to the background in the region. Stressing that successive leaders have played lip service on things concerning the region. You have said it all. It is very sad that when you go to the southwest, there is what they call the Odua investment, which is a consortium of establishment of those who ruled the region before now. Their present governors came under Odua investment to make these establishments work, employ their people, and generate revenue. This is not the case with our so-called governors. When they started the Southeast Governors Forum, one felt that they came together to address these challenges, but that has not been the case. The present crop of leaders seems uninterested or unable to resist or to revisit these moribund industries that were established by their predecessors. It is obvious that if those companies were put back to life, they would contribute in no small measure to alleviate the acute unemployment and the rising incidence of crime in the zone. Well, if you ask me, what are the Ohanes and Igbo doing? What is their discussion whenever they go to their meetings? Don't they discuss about this kind of issues in their meetings? The Governors Forum in particular, they don't care about these moribund industries and companies scattered everywhere in the Southeast. Why is this so? Why do we choose to shoot ourselves on the leg? These are pure avenues of making money, but these people are not talking about these things. Governance, I keep saying this thing, is a continuous process. You should not allow what your predecessor started to die down. If that thing has not been finished, you are supposed to finish it up and make it more functional. That is the way governance is done for people that understands it. Beyond employment and revenue generation, an entrepreneurial Chika Ugu stated that reviving the industries could make the region an economic giant, of which what this region is supposed to be. But because of selfish politics and neglect, that's why the Southeast region is like this. He stated that there was need for governors of the region to look inward and tackle their challenges, stressing that the method of waiting for monthly allocation from the federal government to drop has proven to make us slaves to the power at the center. But if we can look at these industries, develop them, and get our farm settlements to work, it will bring a new dawn in the southeast. The good thing is that the structures laid several years ago are still there. All we require is the political will to put them back to work. Well, with this, I rest my case in this discussion. And if you have not subscribed to YangaLife channel, please click on the subscription button, notification bell, like this video, and please don't forget to share these videos. We want to see contributions, comments from people on the way forward. Thank you.